So whether you're thinking about buying a Mac or maybe you've already taken a plunge, one thing is for sure, you spent a lot of money and you want to make sure it lasts. That's exactly how I felt with my MacBook and Mac Studio. These aren't cheap machines, so I made it a priority to take care of them. Not just to keep them running smoothly, but to really make the investment worth it. Over time, I picked up a few habits and maintenance tips that go a long way. Some of these you might already be doing and some might actually surprise you. So in this video, I'm breaking down the best tips and tricks to help your Mac last for years and keep it feeling fast, cool, and reliable the whole way through. Let's get into it. I've noticed a lot of other people charging their MacBooks and honestly even other Apple products with cables or chargers that really aren't designed to handle the power these machines need. Sometimes it's a cable that can't handle the proper wattage or a super cheap power brick that clearly hasn't gone through the kind of testing you expect for high performance devices. It might work for a bit, but long term it can cause all sorts of issues, from inefficient charging to even damaging the battery. So if you can, I always recommend sticking to the charger that always comes with your Mac. Or if you're buying separately, make sure you're getting both a proper USB-C cable and a power brick that's rated for your Mac's wattage. And also, if you're looking for good third-party options, brands like Anker and Ugreen are definitely worth checking out. I've used both and I can confidently say their stuff holds up, quality-wise, top tier. Now, let's also talk about how you charge, because that matters just as much. One of the best ways to extend the life of your MacBook's battery is to avoid charging it all the way to 100 or letting it drain all the way down to 0. Batteries don't like living at those extremes. And the reason why is because charging from 0 to 100% increases the number of full charge cycles. And that's what contributes to battery degradation over time. Every full cycle wears the battery down just a bit more. I would definitely say setting a charging limit of about 60 to 80 is optimal depending on if you're staying at your desk or if you're planning to go on the move. It works with both Intel and Apple Silicon Macs and it's completely free. And as of right now, since I got this Mac that I've actually had for a long time, I've had this app AlDente installed, just so that I can make sure my battery was going to be lasting as long as possible for the future. Now, you can also get away with the free version because that's good enough for me, but there are paid versions that allows for a bunch of extra little features. If you see that the pro version is a little bit more for you, that's up to you, but the free version does the job it's intended to do. By sticking to that 20 to 80% range, you're actually helping your battery age slower. And something actually funny is that charging between that range is actually faster, especially compared to that slower top up from 80 to 100. Now, another tip is do not shut down your computer every night. We've all been there. End of the day, you're done using your Mac and your hand just automatically goes to the Apple menu to hit shutdown. It definitely feels like the responsible thing to do, right? But here's the thing, you might be doing more harm than good, or at the very least, wasting your time. So let's start with the habit itself. Most of us grew up around desktops and laptops where shutting down felt like the proper way to end the day. You save power, reduce wear and tear, and give your computer a break. It makes sense. But that mindset really comes from older machines. Back then, putting a computer to sleep didn't work as well as it does today. It could freeze, glitch, or even crash when you woke it up. But now, modern Macs are built differently. When you put your Mac to sleep, it's not completely off. It enters a low power state. The display turns off, hard drive spins down, or in the case of SSDs, simply goes idle, and the CPU goes quiet. But here's the key part. Some components stay slightly active and allows your Mac to quickly wake up when you open a lid or press a key. It also lets things like Bluetooth devices reconnect instantly, and your background processes like iCloud sync, emails, or downloads can still run if you allow them. Now, with all that said, there are times when you should shut your Mac down. If you're not going to use it for several days, especially if you're traveling, if your Mac starts feeling slow, buggy, or glitchy, a full shutdown could help reset everything cleanly. Otherwise, sleep mode is your friend. So here's my actual recommendation and what I personally do. I restart it once a week, usually on a Monday morning, just to clear out any memory leaks or refresh background processes. And I shut it down fully maybe once every couple of weeks or when I won't be using it for a few days. This balance keeps everything running smoothly and extends the life of your machine without unnecessary power cycles. Next up, let's talk about storage optimization and cleaning up junk files. The first thing you want to do is delete any unnecessary files you need or archive them onto an external hard drive. The less files, the better. It's easier for you to navigate around, and the less files in your SSD, the less file it needs to manage and the less indexing it needs to do every time you search for something or anytime you open something. There's a lot of apps out there that love taking up your precious disk space. Apps that I've used a lot, like basically anything from Adobe, have taken up a lot of space over the years. This accumulates and can be gigabytes worth of files that you don't even know about. There's all kinds of apps that will take some space in your Mac, and it will add up. Now, the good thing is that there's some apps that will allow you to clean cache and junk files off your Mac, and there's one in particular that I cannot recommend enough. It's called CleanMyMac, and honestly, this app makes it stupid easy to keep your Mac running like new. CleanMyMac has this feature called Smart Scan, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You press one button and it does everything. Checks for junk files, runs a malware scan, and even suggests performance improvements. But if you want to go deeper, you got these 5 main modules. Now, it starts with cleanup. It gets rid of system junk, broken files, old caches, stuff that takes up real space. There's protection. It scans for malware, privacy threats, and anything sketchy running in the background. There's performance, which frees up your RAM, disables heavy background apps, and help you run smoother overall. There's application, which shows you every app installed. It also helps uninstall or update them in one go. There's also My Clutter. This one's underrated. It finds huge files, old downloads, and forgotten folders you probably don't need anymore and helps you get rid of them. Then there's the Assistant, which is honestly kind of like a built-in Mac expert. It suggests what actions to take based on your Mac's current state, like, hey, your memory's a little overloaded, or these apps haven't been used in months. And finally, we have the dashboard, which this gives you a full overview of your Mac's health, storage, battery, memory, CPU usage, all in one clean interface. It's way more intuitive than digging through Activity Monitor. One feature I really love inside CleanMyMac is called Space Lens. And honestly, this is one of the most visually satisfying tools I've used to clean up my Mac. Here's how it works. It scans your entire drive and then builds a visual interactive map of your storage. So instead of looking at a boring list of file names or folders, you actually see bubbles or blocks that show how much space each item is taking up. The bigger the block, the more space it's using. It's super intuitive. You can just click through to zoom in and drill down folder by folder. So if you've ever wondered, why is my Mac suddenly low on storage? Where are all these hidden large files coming from? And what's actually taking up all this space? This tool answers that immediately. No more guessing, no more digging through Finder manually. The last time I ran Space Lens, I found a bunch of old Final Cut projects and massive screen recordings I forgot about, just sitting in a temp folder taking up like 60 gigs. Stuff like that is easy to miss, but Space Lens makes it super obvious and more importantly, lets you clean it up right there without jumping between apps or directories. And by the way, it doesn't just scan your internal drive, you can use it to analyze external drives and network storage, which is perfect if you work with large files or backups like I do. So whether you're trying to free up storage, clean junk, or just speed things up a bit, CleanMyMac does it all in one place. I use it regularly, and honestly, it's one of the easiest ways to keep your Mac in top shape without digging through 100 setting menus. If you want to try it out, I'll leave a link in the description. And finally, heat. Heat is one of the biggest factors that can shorten your MacBook's lifespan. And yeah, even though it's called a laptop, you actually shouldn't use it on your lap for long periods. MacBooks generate heat, and when you place them on soft or uneven surfaces like a bed, cushion, or your legs, you risk blocking the vents. Especially on the newer MacBook Pros, the vents are located on the sides and at the back. So if those are covered, the system has a much harder time cooling itself down. That means the processor runs hotter, the fans work harder, and your battery heats up too, which over time can degrade battery health and overall performance. If possible, always try to use a MacBook on a hard, flat surface like a desk or a table. You don't need one of those cooling pads unless you're doing really heavy tasks for long stretches, but anything that allows for airflow is a good move. Bottom line, keeping your Mac cool allows for your device to last way longer. At the end of the day, Macs are built to last, but only if you take care of them in the right way. And honestly, it doesn't take much. Let it sleep instead of constantly shutting it down. Keep your storage clean with tools like CleanMyMac. Don't just plug it into any charger you find laying around. And if you want your battery to stay healthy long term, cap it. Use apps like AlDente or BatFi and avoid the full 0 to 100% charge cycles. These are small changes, but they add up. They keep your Mac cooler, faster, and just way more reliable over time. You spent really good money on your Mac, so why not make it last? If you found this helpful, hit that like button and let me know in the comments if there's anything you do to take care of your Mac that I didn't mention. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.